Thanks for checking out my video. If you want to learn more from me, I have a lot of classes on Udemy. You can find the links to a lot of those in the description.
All right. So, hey guys. This time around, I wanted to talk about the afterlife, or whatever you might think it might be. So let's explore that a little bit. First off, drop what you think happens after we kick the bucket in the comments, because I'm curious as to what you guys think. So, do we go to some pearly gates? Do we go to heaven? Do we go to Sheol? Do we go to hell? Do we go to Ganzer? Where do we go? What happens? So, ultimately, whatever happens in the afterlife is something that we can think about in terms of right now. And what I mean by that is that we all know that this is going to end sometime. My experience is going on this plane of existence is going to end at some point. And remembering that, it's kind of termed memento mori, if you've ever heard of it. The first time I heard of it was when I was hanging out with one of my really, really long time magical friends. He went through Topi, the Temple of Psychic Youth, and I think he's a member of the OTO and stuff. And I mean, this guy knows a lot of stuff. He's also my tattoo artist. But memento mori is a symbol that, you can even put on your altar. I think a lot of people do. That's literally translated, it's remember that we all die, right? So given the fact that we are not here forever, make the most of the time that you have here. So if you can think about that, what do you have to lose? Go for that job. Go for that date. Go for that thing that you've never wanted to, that you never thought you could do, or the thing that you've always wanted to try, because it could end in 5 minutes. It could end tomorrow. It could end 60 years from now. We just don't know. But what happens after we kick the bucket? Well, if you ever listen to Alan Watts, and if you haven't, I definitely suggest that you do. One of the things that he talks about is, the experience that we're having right now is basically, how do I put this? This is what we experience. If you think about it, death is like going to sleep and never waking up. Well, what was birth like? It was like waking up, never having gone to sleep. So his idea is that that's not an experience that we can have. If our lights go out, our lights go out. Do we get transmuted over to some other kind of plane of existence? Maybe. Do we get reincarnated? Maybe. Arguably, I would think that he believes in reincarnation because death is not an experience, according to what he says. The idea is that, this experience that I'm having right now, is it going to transition over to an entirely new experience once this particular one that I'm existing in is gone? Maybe. Am I going to remember anything? Maybe, maybe not. Of course, there are a lot of examples of past life memories and different things like that, like a lady that was obsessed with Egypt and became an archaeologist and actually went to a particular site and was able to pinpoint exactly where some gardens were and exactly where, some certain structures were. And she said, dig here, dig here, dig here. And she was 100% right because she had all these past life memories. I had a past life memory one time when I was 20. I was laying in bed and then I was like, I wonder if I had any past lives. And whoosh, it looked like I was, like my vision was just taken off towards like the sunset. Everything went white. And then I saw this scene. It ended very fast because I saw a past life, the instance of when me in my past life died. And then I was back in my body, back laying in bed. That was crazy. I believe I've talked about it in a previous video or such, but, that was a wild experience because it was just a movie opened up in front of my eyes, and it was something that was completely out of my control, and it lasted like maybe 2 minutes. It was crazy. Anyways, so if we get reincarnated, then this experience continues, albeit a little bit differently. It's like starting over a video game, or I can equate it with like The Legend of Zelda, right? Where one life is one Legend of Zelda game, and then the next one is the next life is another Zelda game, where you start over from square one, and you have a different experience from each different Zelda game. One life is Twilight Princess, the next life is Skyward Sword, the next life is Breath of the Wild, the next life is Tears of the Kingdom, that kind of thing. But whether or not we get reincarnated as a higher being, a lower being, another type of being entirely on a different plane, an animal, an ant, a bug, a whale, what have you. Those things are all things that are worth thinking about and questioning and exploring and meditating on, because you might get some kind of message about what a past life is. Now, you can have a little bit of trouble if you get into this, if you dive deep in this rabbit hole where you kind of do past life regression and things like that, because some of the energies and the traumas and whatever you went through in your past life could actually come up and then affect the current life that you're having now. So that can be a little bit tricky and a little bit dangerous to deal with, arguably. So, you really gotta, I would vote, focusing on this particular life that you have and making the most of it. Because whether or not we go to the pearly gates, or we end up in a plane of existence awaiting judgment day, or we end up burning forever somewhere because we practice witchcraft and whatnot, who knows? But this current plane of existence that we're on is a giant sandbox where we can do whatever we want. And what's the meaning of life, Arguably, I think it's to grow and to learn and to see what we can turn ourselves into, see what your potential is. So whatever existence and experience you're having now, see what you can do to make it more enjoyable. Go for that thing that you want and don't let anything hold you back. Anyways, this was a little bit of a short one, but definitely let me know what you guys think about what happens when we're not here anymore. Where do we go? What happens? And are you looking forward to it? Anyways, until the next one, good hunting.